We got world details and more. Hello, my name is Jennifer and welcome to my news video. So starting with those world details, someone asked about the size of the world and SimGuruMorgan replied that there are 12 playable lots and that each neighborhood has 4 lots, and we know there are 3 neighborhoods. And she went on to say about how they determine how many is best for each pack for performance, because people with min-spec PCs need to play too and weigh against the gameplay needs and so on. So essentially we're getting 12 playable lots, which will be residential and community lots, because we know for a fact that there is the rec center at a minimum as one of the community lots that's coming with the pack. That's all we know, that there's 12 of them. So that does seem a little bit small, but if we take a look at the lot sizes that came with previous worlds, I would say the more recent worlds have been smaller. And of course with Seasons we got no world. But that's consistent with Sims 2 and Sims 3, and they did go and do all the, integration with the older worlds plus the newer worlds to work with seasons and weather and whatnot. So the most recent expansion pack was high school years, i.e. it came with Copperdale, and it only had 12 lots, which is the same as this one in 3 neighborhoods. Though in that case, one of the neighborhoods is the high school district, so there's 2 lots in that district, and the other 10 lots are between the other 2 districts, where this one they're evenly split out. And that is the only one that is sort of the same size. I mean, Strangerville was 12 lots, but it was also a game pack. But that said, we have had a few that have only been 13 lots. Brightchester was 13 lots. Evergreen Harbor was 13 lots, but 2 of those lots were apartments, so there were still 15 spaces, so to speak. So that's not quite the same. And then Mount Komorebi with Snowy Escape, there were 14 lots, but there was also the Summit lot, which was a hidden lot. So I wasn't counting hidden lots in that, overall count. And then Henford-on-Bagley was also only 13 lots in 3 neighborhoods. But the thing with Henford-on-Bagley is that there was a 64 by 64 lot with that world, though it is occupied, and 3 50 by 40 lots, 2 of which were residential. One is the national park in the Bramblewood area. So we did get some big lots with those 13 lots. So I'm kind of hoping that with this new 12 lots that we'll get a few that are big, especially because that treehouse that comes with the pack looks quite big and looks like it's going to need a lot of room. And just like with Henford-on-Bagley, like the animal sheds in particular, I find you can squeeze in a chicken coop pretty much anywhere, but the animal sheds are quite big and take a lot of space. And so it kind of made sense that there were bigger lots to be able to, stand up to having animal sheds on them. And so sort of going by the same thing, that treehouse looks quite big, so I'm hoping that there's some big lots. The lot that the Michelsons live in, one of the pre-mades that come with it, looks like it's a big lot. Of course, it's already going to have them living there. You can always evict them and use them. I don't usually do that very much, but so I'm hoping there's like a big lot that's empty. 50 by 40 would be big enough for me. I know some people really like their 64 by 64. And of course, Copperdale does have a 64 by 64, but it's the high school, so you can't use it for really anything else. It's only for the high school, and I don't find the other lots are that big, other than the lot that the principal and her daughter and I think father live on. I can't remember exactly. I've never played with that family. I think if you play with the family, the principal loses her job because it's not a playable job. So just in general, the more recent worlds that came with expansions haven't really been that big. And if you compare it maybe with Henford-on-Bagley that came with cottage living, it at least had some big lots. So I'm hoping maybe we'll get some big lots with that. So that's kind of my take on it. I'm okay with it not being that big if it also meant that more effort went into the gameplay. And also, like I said, especially if we get a few big lots with it too. So moving along, we did actually get a few more screenshots of the world. I heard we were sharing cool pictures of San Sequoia, some cool shots of the fog coming in off the bay in the evening, which is Hopewell Hills. So there's a little closer, I just put the pictures in. So that's shot number 1 and shot number 2. It is quite pretty, I have to say. And then Gilbert Gardens, which is this shot here, which has those cars, which of course are just, environmental objects. I still really hope that we get cars sometime. sooner rather than later. But and then there's Anchor Port Wharf, which looks like there's like a spot there to maybe order food in the middle, would be my guess. It'd be great if there was some new food that came with the pack. I always love new food being added to the game. So those are some pictures. And then SimGuruMorgan also shared this yesterday. Yes, Friday, I'll say Friday. By the time this goes out, it'll probably be not yesterday. What would you rather feed your infant? Not that there aren't more options in the game. And so the options she shows here are papaya paste, mashed peas, which is what I chose, ice cream, or smashed lemon. And then Tiger Lover 78 replied, not the smashed lemons. I hope they make faces if they don't like something. That would be perfect. And so SimGuruMorgan replied and said, I think you're going to be happy. I love taste testing with infants. So that seems like it could be quite fun. And yes, I'm glad there's more than those 4 things as options for the infants. But even more kind of exciting for me, because I play with sim kids in the game. I play with like all the younger life stages a lot. I'm a family type player. SimGuruNova retweeted, just nonchalantly sneaking in reveals. Okay, Morgan, I see you. So what Morgan said is for sure, she was talking about using CC and mods in her game in personal play. The way child skills work hasn't always been my preference, so I have a mod for that. We did rework that in base game for growing together, though. It's different from the mod she uses, but cooler. I can't wait to remove the mod and play the updated way when it goes live. So we're getting an update to the way child skills work in base game. So this is not, even though it's done to work with growing together, it is going to be a base game change. So I'm really curious to hear more about that, because I have my sim kids do all 4 aspirations that are base game aspirations all the time. I just do hope, as always, that there's not going to be buggy and there's not going to be issues caused by this. But or if there is, hopefully will fix it soon, as I know the main thing that I do. And I also completely kind of unrelated, but I'm kind of wondering with like infants and all the changes that are coming, if the reason the toddlers aren't getting their top-notch toddler and or happy toddler traits is something to do with some behind-the-scenes things they did with the high school years update, the base game update, and that maybe when they do this update, somehow miraculously it'll fix it, and our sim toddlers, when they age up, will get those traits again. I would really like that. But that's just sort of like the way my mind works. But anyways, let me know what you think about all of this. Are you disappointed that there's only 12 lots? I mean, I can understand the disappointment. Like I said, I need more information. I need information about the lot size to know whether I am truly disappointed. And what do you think about the screenshots that were shared, the infant food, and of course this upcoming change that we don't really know exactly what it is, but the fact that there is a change coming to how child skills are going to work, in a comment down below. But that's going to be it for this video. Likes and comments are always appreciated, and they really help with the algorithms. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!